Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Grills, Jada, Brady, Kristen, Ava, and Stefan quarrel. Approaching. Brady and Kristen argue, Steve and Kayla remember, and Ava and Stefan are questioned about Harris. After filing a sexual harassment lawsuit against Corday Productions, Ken Corday, and Albert Alar, Ari Zucker was fired from Days of Our Lives. Days taped 6 months in advance, so we will see her well into the summer. Rafe questions Stefan and Ava about Harris as the EMT arrives on the scene. Before her operation, Chanel stops over Paulina's house to spend a girls' night with cards and junk food. Doug, Julie, Chad, Charlotte, and Thomas are transported to the park, of all places, to recover after the firemen are called. Since Bill Hayes passed away on January 12, 2024, this is not Doug Williams' final air date. There will be scenes for him soon. When Paulina answered the knock at her flat, Chanel was standing there with her arms full of bags. Chanel exclaimed with a smile that she brought those cheap-ass cupcakes you love, nail polish, and a jigsaw for a girls' night out. Paulina reminded her daughter that due to the impending surgery, she was not allowed to eat after midnight. To Paulina's dismay, Chanel suggested they would have to start early that night and picked out some fluffy slippers. Paulina felt bad about delaying Chanel's wedding once more, but Chanel reassured her that they would turn lemons into lemonade. Chanel and Paulina debated which movie to watch, and Paulina refused to see Get Out because she thought she would dream about having a brain transplant. After Paulina's spirits were raised by a call from Lonnie, Chanel and Paulina expressed optimism that Lonnie would soon be released from prison. Later, Chanel took Johnny's phone and jokingly told him that he was not allowed to ruin girls' night. He was skilled at surprises, Paulina thought, and Chanel wondered if he was planning a Valentine's surprise. Following a game of Go Fish, Paulina inquired about her daughter's favorite thing about Johnny. Chanel sadly enumerated Johnny's virtues, such as his fortitude, openness, wit, and inventiveness, as well as the way he gave her a sense of security and respect. Paulina joked, "I thought you were just going to say he was a good kisser," in response to her description of him as the entire package. The call Paulina received of Harris's shooting broke the moment. Paulina was about to head out to see what had happened, but Chanel insisted that she stay put. After Paulina attempted to explain to Chanel how she may access a safe's contents in the event of Paulina's death, Chanel became distraught. Paulina consoled her daughter by promising to beat Cancer's ass. Chanel begged to crawl into Paulina's bed, just like she had done when she was younger, as they were ready to tidy up and turn in for the evening. Paulina thought that was lovely, but she wasn't sure if she would need to buy a torch for a shadow puppet performance. Paulina told Chanel that she would be there for a long time as the two women hugged. Stefan approached Ava, Tripp, and Wendy while they were enjoying dinner at the bistro. "It's nice to see you fully dressed," said a testy Tripp. Stefan pleaded with Tripp to put the scene between Ava and Stefan out of his mind, but Tripp wailed, "It's seared into my brain." After reminding Tripp of their agreement to maintain limits, Ava walked away to catch her breath. The uneasy pause that followed was broken by Wendy's joke, "So, how about that Super Bowl?" Tripp was telling Stefan that he had promised his mother he wouldn't say anything, but he was cut off when he got a phone from an agitated Ava, asking him to get to the loading docks. When Ava got to the loading docks, she was horrified to see Harris on the ground, bleeding. He flashed back to the shooting, and she ran over and begged him to stay with her. He was advised to wait as she made a phone call to Tripp. Tripp gave Stefan instructions to gather supplies and advised Wendy to phone 911 when he, Wendy, and Stefan arrived. While sirens sounded far away, Tripp rapidly applied pressure to Harris's wounds. "This was not meant to happen," said an irate Ava to herself. Ava flashed back to Harris's love confession and his desire that she trust him with the truth after Stefan overheard and asked what she meant. She pleaded with Tripp to save Harris's life, saying it didn't matter what she meant. While Tripp was on the phone with 911, he informed the operator that a male individual, age 50, was suffering from gunshot wounds to his chest and left arm and required intravenous fluids. Jada brought dinner for herself and Rafe to the police station. They discussed the drug bust and the officer-involved shooting that had occurred there after she inquired as to whether it qualified as their dinner date. Rafe informed her that the drug dealer's body was in their possession and that an autopsy would be conducted. They were curious about Harris's whereabouts when Rafe received a call regarding his shooting. The paramedics arrived at the loading docks with Rafe and Jada. But Jada departed when Rafe got a call regarding another gunshot. When Rafe asked Ava what had transpired, she replied that she had discovered Harris after he had already been shot. When Ava heard Tripp inform the paramedics that he couldn't find Harris's pulse and that he needed a defibrillator, she became terrified. Tripp and the medical staff shocked Harris and applied compressions. Following this, Harris was brought to the hospital and revived. With worried expressions on their faces, those present looked to Rafe to find out what had happened. Shouts of "No!" rang out as a masked man opened the door to Harris's flat and fired inside. Kate came out of the room with a gun and started shooting at the man as he ran away. She walked back inside to see how Lucas was doing. He seemed okay. Amidst the chaos, a startled Roman made his way inside the room. After Kate gave him a rundown of what had happened, he told Kate and Lucas to stay inside and away from the windows. After checking the pub, Roman went back to make sure the scene was safe. "Did Kate or Lucas see anything?" he inquired. Kate claimed to have only seen the rifle, while Lucas claimed to have merely saw darkness. Lucas thanked his mother for saving him, and the three of them exchanged hugs. When Kate got her hands on Harris, she promptly accused him of being the attacker and promised that he would apologize. Jada entered the corridor. She was initially denied entry into the room by Roman and Kate, but they eventually gave in. Jada was taken aback to discover Lucas there and understood that Harris's apartment had served as Lucas' hiding place. She gave the group an update on Harris's shooting and questioned Lucas and Kate about their own shooting experiences. Lucas would stay at Kate and Roman's house while the police cleared the crime scene. Lucas declared that "I'll never be safe as long as he's out there and alive," and promptly accused Clyde of being responsible for the shootings. A second masked man entered the Horton residence and peered around the living area while family photos were displayed. He ignited a match and doused the couch and the entire room with gasoline. He watched as flames sprang up as the man threw the match, but he fled as soon as the fire alarm went off. As the fire spread, Julie and Chad gasped as they hurried down the stairs. After demanding that Julie remove Doug and the children from upstairs, Chad hurried to get the rest of the family back while phoning 911 to inquire about the fire extinguisher. Julie, Doug, Charlotte, and Thomas stood outside, upset, staring helplessly at the blazing house. The children wept for their father, and Julie, in spite of Doug's entreaties that she stay outside, stepped back inside when she discovered Chad was still inside. With the extinguisher, Chad battled the spreading flames inside, but when Julie declared the fire was too large, he gave up and accompanied her outside. When Julie and Chad came out of the house, Thomas changed his mind about going to help his father. When a fire department arrived, the group hugged. A firefighter promised Julie that they would try their best when she begged them to preserve her house. As the flames consumed the gathering, Julie wept, "Our family home, generations, all of our history, I'm watching half my life go up in flames." The group stared in horror.